Okay, so right now we are on, hopefully this should be the last day of the Gambler. This is the day that we took into account as being a possibility, and it has come to fruition. So we took off the day after the Gambler in case any weird stuff happened, and weird stuff did happen. So on the way home yesterday, so we're going from Tumult up to north of Seattle to Edmonds. So our 2004 Ford Escape 4x4. We knew the transmission was going out. Only 2 gears were working, first and third, and the reverse is working. So we knew that was an issue, but that actually didn't end up being the major problem. We ended up having some sort of electrical problems. Is the main thing. I'm guessing it probably has something to do with the fact that we drove it through mud at like 40 miles an hour or whatever that was. I'm sure that didn't help the electronics out, but there seemed to be some sort of either bad connection with the alternator, or it's not working, period, or partially working, or it's totally working and the connection's bad and it's not charging the battery. So the battery's going south. They were losing electrical multiple times on the drive back. So we probably pulled off on the side of the highway at least five times. Maybe more, maybe less, right around there somewhere though, to try to get this thing running. Some of those issues, most of them were electrical issues. There's also sensor problems where there's a draw that was happening because there's a misinformation with the sensors in the car with the doors and windows shutting and stuff. So there's heavy load on the electrical system. And it could be something as simple as just dirty terminals. It could be that there's just freaking total garbage on the battery, which all of our other batteries look horrible. And if you look at this, that's our good battery. That's what our good battery looks like. Then that gives you an idea what all the bad ones look like. So we'll try to clean it off, see what we can do. But basically what we ended up happening is the last time we tried fixing it, also the throttle cable was acting weird. We tried to adjust that. We could only get it going so fast. We kind of jimmy rigged it and it kind of worked, kind of didn't. But I think electrical ultimately is what the issue is right now. But what happened was, so we have the title signed off on from my buddy, which is good. We had him do that just in case this scenario happened, but we left it on the side of an on-ramp to I-5, not on the main highway. It's really close to the main highway, but it's technically not right on it. It's on the on-ramp, a little safer. We left it there last night, 9:30 p.m., pulled the plates, title, registration, all the crap that was important, left it in the dash, took all of our gear out, left it. There's no tow truck companies and whatnot, realistically, that are open that late. Like auto wrecking yards aren't open that late, so we had to wait till this morning. And I called them first thing when I woke up this morning, so I called them at 8. I called the closest one. There's one about 2.5 miles south. And then I let them know that it was on the highway and it's at risk for being towed, so they actually had their tow truck driver head out there faster for that vehicle than they would for other vehicles. And by the time the tow truck driver got there, I talked to him on the phone. He said State Patrol had already called to have their own towing company tow this vehicle off, because I guess they assumed it was abandoned, which honestly, if I saw it, I would think it was abandoned. It's covered in mud and there's broken pieces on it and it's beat to crap. So it looks like it's abandoned, but it's technically not. We cared about it. We put a note on the dash too, but they must not have seen it. So as our first tow truck driver pulls up, he sees it being towed by a different company. It's also in front of a prison off the highway, or a juvie center, so that might be why they're a little more sketched out and wanted to get towed out of there. Who knows? So what we're doing now, which is a pain in the butt, is we have to go to the impounder that the State Patrol used to get the vehicle out of there. And you want to do that today because it's going to cost tons of money and be a major pain in the butt if we don't. And it'll be a pain in the butt to the person who has the title right now. We have the title in hand, but the legit owner at this moment in time is not us. We can make it us very quick, but it's not us. So it'd be a pain in the butt for him. So we're getting it out of the impound right now, and then we're going to try towing it like, I don't know, 15 miles or something, 10 miles, we'll see how far it is, to an auto wrecking yard. And then I think they're giving us money for it there. They'll at least take it off of our hands. If that plan sucks, then we'll just call the auto wrecking yard and have their own tow truck driver pick it up. But I think we can get it fine. We got a pickup truck and tow strap and lights and stuff, so we should be good. So we're spending a couple extra hours of bonding time, heading south on I-5
So we're
today.
almost to the, what is it called, B&R? No, this is B&H, right?
Yeah.
This is the impound lot. We're coming up somewhere around
Got
here.
our beauty of a Ford Escape.
Go pull that thing out of impound.
Now we're gonna go take it to a junkyard where it belongs.
We're taking you home
Yeah.
where you belong.
Another one bites the dust.
Oh, perfect. This makes sense. Out by the railroad tracks, that's where you would put a wrecking yard.
Do we name the Escape?
We had all kinds of names. The Escape from LA,
The
the
Purple Nurple?
Escape, yeah, the Purple Nurple,
Yeah, that's what I was
And
calling it for a little bit. It's not
which
purple
is
at all.
like the best ironic name.
The
'cause
Red Rocket?
Nothing is purple. Like this. What was the other one? The White Russian.
Yeah, Red Rocket.
Just because, yeah, Red Rocket. All of these. All these great names. Here it is.
Where's our beauty?
Where's the? We gotta go to the office here.
Came here for a sweet ride. Let's park right here for now.
Oh, it's small. Do we see it? Maybe out behind there. They've got the.
Probably do it.
So we're standing here at the office of B&H Towing. B&H Towing is the tow company that actually ended up picking up the Escape when the state troopers decided that it should be impounded. And we thought that we would have to pay like a $250 impound fee to get it out of impound here, and then that we would have to tow it or somehow get it over to another junkyard that wants it, that's 30 miles from here, and we wouldn't have been able to take main roads, so it would have been a big hassle for the afternoon. But what actually happened is they said, hey, we'll take it and we'll auction it off. And so it still cost us a fair bit of money, but we just sent it to the junkyard and they took the title off our hands, and everything is all settled now.
It's the Ford.
The Ford, oh, we should have done that.
Ford off-road racing development. Found off-road drinking.
Ours was all of those things and more this time, right?
Found
off-road dead, it was.
Found off-road drinking. Found off-road pulling people out. Are you filming?
Yeah, I started now.
Okay, so we're done with the Escape is gone. The Escape is escaped. No, it has escaped. It's in a fenced area. So we got rid of that thing. The auction lot owns it, or the tow yard owns it now. They're going to auction it most likely this next month at their monthly auction. So if any of you folks need to go get yourself a nice gambler, don't buy that one. That's a terrible decision. Don't do that. So it's clean hands. What would have probably been smarter is we died on the highway. It might have behooved us to try to pull it to the next off ramp and get it parked in town, because it probably wouldn't have gotten freaking impounded if it was in town. That might have. I don't know if that is safe or worth it, but that's something to consider that we maybe should have done. Would have saved some money. But yeah, if your vehicle is at all in question, make sure to have your title ready to go, or whoever owns it ready to ditch it, because that was very valuable and made it much easier having the title signed off on already.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
We almost got it.